Hi everyone, and welcome to my Makers channel. Today we're going to be putting together an industrial table. Now the principle of the design of this is that I wanted something as an office desk, but something taller, the same height as a bar table. It gives me the opportunity to use a tall stool, or gives me the opportunity to stand up also. So I've got that flexibility in how I want to work. Also, it's big enough for me to have all the equipment that I need on there. So essentially I've got a 27-inch monitor connected to my PC, and also I've got my 17-inch laptop to run. I've got the printer to set up on there, and a few other smaller bits and pieces up on the table as well. So the size that I'm making is going to be 1900 by 600 deep, and it is 30mm ply. So it's going to give me a nice sturdy surface to work with. It's not going to flex at all. It's not going to bend with the weight of everything that I'm putting on it. So without further ado, I'll go through some parts that I'm running with. 25mm galvanized fence tubing, so it's not too thick but not too thin, very sturdy. It's not going to flex or anything like that. Next up, we have the 32mm ply. I can't actually show you at the moment because it's actually in a full piece, and we'll get to the cutting of that a little bit later. Also, we've got the flange for putting onto the base of the table, so the rod will go up into there. Then we've got our cross pieces, so there's going to be 7 of these all up. So there's going to be 2 across the center of the legs to run on each side, and then another piece going up that way to run the center piece over to the other side. So I'm going to put footrest at the bottom of the table as well. Then we've got our caps for our feet. So this is not going to stay like this, hence the next item is an adjustable foot. So it's nothing worse than getting a table and building it and it's slightly out of whack. So the best idea is to put an adjustable foot on, and that just simply bolts on through there and then adjusts up and down like that. Just like this. So the cap goes on the end of the tube, and then we can adjust the foot from there. So those are our parts. We're going to start with cutting the tubing. Let's start all the cutting. So we're going to cut our piece 900. So and should be the last one. 900. There we go. Now I'll just going to make it a little bit easier when I get the grinder out. So it doesn't have to be super accurate because I've got the feet, which is why I did the feet. So that's our 900 mark down there. Next we've got the grinder. Make sure you always wear safety gear when you're working with grinders and everything. Not only grinders but saws and all sorts of equipment, but safety first. And there are our 2 legs. We'll go ahead and make another 2 out of camera, but yeah, essentially it's that easy for 2 legs. Okay, so now we're measuring out our 500mm side pieces. So it'll all look nice and pretty once this goes under here. And then I'll have the centerpiece up through there, off through up there, and then we're good to go. Okay, now that we've got all the pipes cut, I'm going to put a few of the joiners on and get the base of the table done. So let's get some pipes together. So those go on there, and then they go across the crossbar. So here's one set of the legs that I've done a little bit earlier. So just like that. And I will replace this bit with the crossbar that will go across. Now I was going to paint the tubing black. However, at the moment I'm going to leave it on the natural galvanized colouring just to see how it looks. I can always pull a table apart at another time and spray them. So, crossbar through there. So and the wind's blowing and the sheets are flapping and everything, but anyway, so what we're going to do now is put the long piece together, the footrest, and yep, just do that up. Make sure the bolts are on the inside, so these here I'm making sure they're on the inside. Alrighty, so what we'll do now is put on our caps, but before I put on our caps we need to drill them out so they end up looking like that. And I'll just bring this one up here, so they end up looking just like that. Focus is not quite working, there we go, yep. So just drill them out like that. So we'll move this one out of the way for the moment. Okay, what we're going to do now is drill these out. So I'm going to put this in the vise. And because I've already done one already, I've got an idea on what I need to do. So I'm going to get the drill, I'm going to place a pilot hole through that. Let's go at 2.5. So then we just come down into here. So there's one. Big drill, which is just over here. So I've already got the drill bit in it, so we're going to use a 16mm drill to drill that hole out to be able to get the foot through it. small round file and I've got a flat file. So I'm just going to clean up around the edges first. A little bit more of a clean up just to take the spiky bits off. Alright, now we grab, I'll just take the foot completely out. Take the plate off, and there we go. Screw that in, and then grab, I need a bigger shifter for this one. Stick that back in there. Tighten that up, and there we go. So just put our foot back in that. And that's how we complete our foot. So I'm going to go across and do the other two, and I'll come back and then we'll put the feet on the base of the table. Okay, so we have all of our feet now done. And now we're just going to place them on the base of the feet. Tighten them up. I'm just going to grab a mallet and just give them a gentle tap on. That is our base done. Apart from the flanges that are going to go on the timber, essentially this is it. As I said, with once we get the flanges on and measured up and everything, I'll do some readjusting of the bars here again and make sure everything is nicely aligned and squared and the way it's supposed to be. So with that, I'll cut off from this side and then we'll cut over to the top. Okay, so next we've got the 30mm ply top. One side's got the sticker on it, so I'm going to use that as the underside of the table. This side here is the nicer finish, and it's going to be, the top is, I've got these holes, or not holes in the top. So my 1900 is going to start down that end, and I'm going to cut it off up this way. So let's get this in. So now that we've got our measurements cut out, that's our 1900 mark there. So what we're going to do now is grab the circular saw, lob this bit off, give it a bit of a sand, make it look nice and tidy, and then we can start putting the legs on. So what we're up to is I've got all the frame done, I've got the top done, sanded down. I will prep it and lacquer it a little bit later, but I just wanted to get the feet on and essentially complete the project. So we've got our flanges just down here on each leg, and what we're going to do is drill them into place, making sure that they all look very much the same underneath. So let's continue on with this. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, instead of drilling, going to get some thick screws to go through here just to hold it in place. I'm actually going to use bolts, and I'm going to countersink them on the tops. Just again, add to that industrial look, and that'll make it really sturdy. So it'll bolt into place. I've got the washers and everything for that, and it'll make it really well. So what I've done is I've measured down 5mm from this edge, which actually looks a little bit more than 5mm, but that's pretty close. As long as it's all uniform right across, this will be my guide down to here, and they'll all be the same. So let's go. Before I go, I'll try one bolt. So that's nice and even there. I can fill it up with a little bit of fill there to make it look a little bit pretty. I can probably even go down a tad more. No, that's fine. Perfect. So as you can see, I've finished the flanges onto the base of the tabletop. There's all 4 of them on there. I've lined them up. They all look fairly well the same. And now is the magic part of turning the top over and putting the top onto the legs. So here's the almost finished product. I've got the legs all done, complete, tightened up. Got the top bolted in, neatened up a little bit with a little bit of wood filler, just to still give it a bit of an industrial look, but to fill in the holes when I'm actually working on here. Next, I'm about to cover it with some exterior clear varnish. I've got the satin version, so there's not a lot of shine back on it. So we'll go ahead and do that now. So there we go, everyone. This is the industrial office table. I'm just waiting for the varnish to dry now as we speak, but essentially it's finished. If you liked the video, please hit the like button, or if you want to keep updated with what else is happening on this channel, then hit the subscribe button. Otherwise, thanks very much. Thanks for watching.